already has his locker ready in Portland. He agreed to a 3-year, $42 million contract to return to the Blazers after being waived by the Bucks earlier this month. The 9-time All-Star, he will likely miss the entire upcoming season, recovering from an Achilles injury, but he returns to the team that drafted him in 2012. And I love that they already had the locker room ready for his return. Our senior insider, Shams Charania, is here with more. Shams, there were a lot of teams interested in Damian Lillard. Beyond sort of the heartfelt story, who else was in the mix, and why did he ultimately choose to go back to Portland?
Malika, over a dozen teams made minimum and mid-level exception offers to Damian Lillard. Two teams in particular, I'm told, that Damian Lillard really considered, and that's the Boston Celtics and the Minnesota Timberwolves. He held calls with both teams at different points. But to be in Portland, back home, with his 3 young kids, that was by far the most important factor, I was told, in his return to the Trailblazers. And he was going to spend a year rehabbing in Portland anyways from that Achilles tear. But to return to Portland, the franchise that he obviously is an icon in, that meant a lot to him. He held multiple meetings with general manager Joe Cronin and head coach Chauncey Billups at his house in the last few weeks. So he goes back 3 years, $42 million. He's one of 2 players, along with LeBron James, to have a no-trade clause right now in the NBA. So a return to Portland made sense for him on a lot of different levels. And this next season, Malika, he's going to be earning $70 million between his Bucks salary and his Blazers salary. In 2 years, before his player option in 2027, he has a guaranteed $141 million over the next 2 years.
I mean, I know that he will be sitting out likely all year, but making $70 million to do that isn't so bad if you want to look at the glass half full here. The recovery process, though, is going to be long. What are his expectations, Shams, for when he might return to the court?
Malika, Damian Lillard will be using the entire 2025-26 season to rehab that Achilles tear and then make his return, his reunion in Portland, in that arena in 2026, 2027. And then he has that opt-out in the summer of 2027. The mindset of Damian Lillard right now is that summer he will be going into free agency, potentially in line for another big deal. But now he's in Portland. He's going to be there rehabbing. He's going to be there, a big part of the community, big part of the roster, a leader for that young team. You think about what the Blazers have done this offseason, not only in the draft with Yang Hansen, but also getting Drew Holiday, a veteran all-star caliber player. Then you get now Damian Lillard back. So they're making moves to retool this roster to try to be more competitive in the next couple of years. Chauncey Billups finished last season 22-18. They had a top 5 defense as well in the second half of the season.
And you just think, Shams, the first time back in Moda Center when they say over the PA system and wearing the letter O, it's Damian Lillard. That place is going to go absolutely nuts. Thank you so much for your reporting, Shams. We'll see you back here in just a little bit. Udonis Haslem, Bobby Marks, Iman Shumpert joining me now. I'm going to start with you here, UD. Your first reaction when you saw that Damian Lillard is going back to Portland?
Excitement, excited. I'm happy for Dame. I understand who Dame is as a person. I understand the things that are important to Dame is his love for his family and his loyalty to the city of Portland. He loves the city of Portland. He never really wanted to leave, but he wanted to put himself in a position where he can fight and contend for a championship. And his love for his family is very important for him. I look at that situation in Portland and I say, yes, he's not going to play the year that's coming up, but he has the opportunity to mentor some great young players. He has the opportunity to be next to Chauncey Billups, who's a champion. Dame is obviously a Hall of Famer. They just brought in James Posey, who's a champion. Drew Holiday's a champion. So when you look at Scoot Henderson, when you look at Sharp, when you look at Kuminga, when you look at all these young guys, Yang Hansen, the guy who they got from China, when you look at all these young guys, this is really an opportunity for these young guys to really learn from some of the best guys that have played the game of basketball.
Without a doubt, I got to second him there. Like, having Damian Lillard in a role now where he doesn't have to produce 40 points. It's just going to be a year for him to talk to guys, make sure guys are in the right position, make sure guys are working out to make themselves better in their own right. Then when he joins the team the following year, we'll be able to look at what he can do and see if he can go a little bit less on the Dame time and just be more, honestly, big shot. Be more Chauncey Billups in that idea of I'm going to direct traffic a little bit more. I'm going to put guys in positions to be successful. I'm not trying to win a scoring title. I'm trying to win a title.
Right, and waiting now with Scoot Henderson maybe or a Shaedon Sharpe mentoring those young guys, because with no Anthony Simons on this team anymore, they really have a ability to step up this year. I completely understand, and I think it's so wonderful, the family part of all of this as well, Bobby. But looking at this deal from the Blazers' point of view, how should they be looking at this?
I think, Malika, you look at it in two different ways here.
Okay.
I think the first way is that he's an extension of Chauncey Billups' coaching staff this upcoming year, certainly rehabbing from that Achilles injury. As Sham said, the likelihood is that he's not going to be playing. You've got all these young players, as Aman and UD has said, certainly Scoot Henderson and Shaedon Sharpe and Donovan Clingan. So for right now, it's the extension part as far as when he can get back healthy. And then the second part is then on the basketball court. How is the pairing with Drew Holiday work? How does that work next year? Most of this roster is intact for the 2026-27 season. Really, the only big free agent is Robert Williams. So you do bring back the nucleus of this roster. The other thing, too, Malika, when he left in 2023, that roster was not very good. When you look at it 2 years later, this is a significantly improved roster that he's walking into right now.
Yeah, and when you look at why he left to try to win a title here. It wasn't a successful fit, really, with the Milwaukee Bucks, and in heartbreaking fashion, he tore his Achilles at the end of the season. But when you look at the basketball fit now, UD, for Damian Lillard with Portland, it's not necessarily one of those upper echelon contender teams, but there are ways in which this works. How do you see that?
Obviously, the mentorship the first season, but then the second season you come in and everybody knows how great Dame is, controlling the pace, handling the ball, scoring the basketball. But I also feel like he has the opportunity to play next to a great guard who can defend on both ends. Who can play both sides of the basketball court. When you look at what Milwaukee was able to do with Drew Holiday at the point guard, when they were 11th in offense, but they were number 1 in defense. So when you look about Dame going back to Portland, yes, Dame is going to score a lot of points, but when you talk about a team who finished 5th in defense last year in the second half of the season, this is another opportunity to get one of the best two-way players in the league. You saw the impact that he had with Milwaukee winning the championship. You saw the impact that he had with Boston winning the championship. So when you put one of the best clutch players in the league next to one of the best two-way players in the league, you really have a good backcourt for these young guys to learn from.
Without a doubt, when he talks about a guy playing both sides of the ball, Drew Holiday has been talked about at that position, and not just the point guard position or the shooting guard position. He's been mentioned as a combo guard.
Right.
He can guard 1 through 3. Guys that can do that can make it to where you guys can switch on defense. Those type of things is what Damian Lillard has never had. Even though he's had C.J. McCollum, him and C.J. McCollum were not together to be a prominent defensive guarding team. Like they weren't supposed to be out there guarding things and cutting the head off the snake, so to speak. Drew Holiday has always prided himself on that, and he's also prided himself on being able to stand next to a superstar and say, this is where I fit in.
The Portland Trailblazers, they finished the end of last season 23-18, so they put together a little run there, really defensive-minded run where they were able to stack together a couple of wins here, and now they get the most famous Trailblazer in the history of the organization back. The letter O is back in Portland. It is Dame time, but over in Vegas, Blazers rookie Yang Hansen, he knows what time it is as well. So let's head out there now, shall we hear? Shep, like he's saying, yep.
There you go, baby.
It is Dame time. The clocks are working once again. Excited for his new teammate here. Hansen, though, he has been a summer league sensation. A little baby hook over the left shoulder.
Love his patience.
Nice.
Very, very patient.
And then doing it on the defensive end as well here. Watch Hansen. He said, get that out of there.
Yeah.
Swats that one away. And then in the fourth quarter here, break this one down for me as he gets downhill on the pick and roll.
What's wild about him is his ability to keep away with the ball. You see a lot of guys that big, you're thinking they're going to go over the top, but he does a lot of scoop shots and getting right to that.
There's some finesse there for sure. Bronny James having a solid summer league as well. Gets inside, hits the floater there, and then later in the corner here, Shump, James. Nice little dribble move, gets inside.
Playing with dude.
Tough layup. He finished with 18 points in this one.
Playing with dude, y'all making him mad.
But how about this play from Jordan Walsh?
Hey!
Leaks it out the other side for the windmill slam. He finished with 17 and 6. The Celtics get the 9-point victory in this one. All right, checking in on Kuminga. We picked this one up. Contested 3 here on the right wing. This is what he did all through college. Shoot or shoot.
Nice.
And then in the third here, Knipple. tracks down the loose ball, and then throws a crazy over the head to P.J. Hall, who makes the layup there.
That's a lot of Jokic, huh?
Yeah, clearly, eyes in the back of his head. And then here, going to work, nice little baseline jumper. He had 19 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists in this one. The Hornets loved him going into the draft, and they were able to get their man. Charlotte gets the wing. Families taking vacations. We take a little trip of our own, we thought. Go coast to coast. Nikola Jokic, he kicked off his 5-day tour in China. Folks were fired up to see him. He was even gifted a horse head that was made entirely of sneakers.
Oh, okay.
No.
What?
No animal violence here. Meanwhile, his brother was out in Vegas watching some of the Nuggets Summer League action all by himself.
Love that.
Bobby, would you rather hang in China with Nikola or Vegas here with his brother? His brother looks nice.
Well, I'm on day 8 in Las Vegas, so I'm going to have to pick his brother right now. So certainly no offense to the former MVP, but I'll pick his brother.
Why are the seats next to him taken? You can take one of those.
I wish I knew.
Bobby.
I wish I knew he was there. I'd go down and sit with
in
him.
between Vegas and China, we got the New York Knicks. They had a busy summer hiring Mike Brown as head coach, signing Jordan Clarkson and Gershon Yabusele. But it's a good thing that Josh Hart has a little bit more time to familiarize himself with his new teammates before training camp here.
Josh, what's his last name?
Yazabuji? You see? I gotta figure out something for his first name, but what is it regularly? What is it? Yabusele. Yeah, yes. Y'all pronouncing it wrong. Yeah, it's Yabusele. There you go. That's easy. Yabusele. Yabusele.
I like that one. Do the last one. Do the last one.
Yabusele?
I like that one.
Yabusele, Moses Moody, UD, did you ever have a teammate that you just couldn't get their name quite right?
No, but people used to always mess up my name, and it used to get on my damn nerves, so I know how I feel when they can never get your name right.
What do you mean they'd mess up Udonis? Udonis?
Udonis, I've been called everything. Hasselman.
Oh, man. We need to start working on some people's pronunciations here. Next up, Kyrie Irving finding different ways to stay busy this summer.
2016 champion.
Irving, fake.
Y'all never
Tonight for Brooklyn, as Casey pointed out at halftime.
2016 champion, absolutely correct. Iman, you ever watch highlights of yourself during the summer?
Oh, yeah. I know that probably was funny for everybody, but me and Kyrie watch a ton of YouTube highlights. Like, in order for me to actually go against you and hate you, I have to be a fan.
But do you watch yourself?
Yeah.
You watch yourself?
Gotta get better. Gotta get better. I mean, I don't watch as many highlights as Kyrie. I ain't had a ball all game. Tell Kyrie to pass it a little bit more.
There's nothing wrong with wanting to improve, to see some highlights of yourself. Also, you gotta pump yourself up sometimes. I get it. The NBA 2K26 Summer League, it rolls on tonight. The Pacers and the Pelicans square off at the Pavilion. Our coverage begins at 9 Eastern on ESPN and ESPN+. We do, though, have some breaking news out of Vegas. We're going to bring back our senior insider, Shams Charania. Shams, what is the latest here out of New Orleans?
Malika, Pelicans lottery pick Derek Queen has undergone surgery to repair a torn ligament in his left wrist. He will be reevaluated in 12 weeks. He's averaged 14 points, 11 rebounds so far in Summer League, but now this is an injury that's going to sideline him into training camp, potentially into the regular season in his rookie season. And remember, the Pelicans moved up 10 slots in the NBA draft from 23 to 13, and they gave up a unprotected first-round pick for 2026, their own or Milwaukee's, in that trade to move up 10 slots for Derek Queen. They think very highly of him. His rookie season looks like it will be at least a little bit cut into with this injury.
Yeah, and that's a really valuable pick they gave up here, looking at the depth of this 2026 draft. Shams, while we have you here, we know there's also, Summer League is also a time for a lot of wheeling and dealing. What else are you following out of Las Vegas right now?
Malika, executives in Las Vegas we're closely watching and monitoring the future and status of Atlanta's Trae Young. He has 2 years left on his deal this upcoming season, but he has a player option in 2026. He can be a free agent next summer. It's going to be a much more flush market in free agency coming up. And listen, this is an Atlanta Hawks team that has made a ton of moves this offseason, got Kristaps Porzingis. They can go several different directions with this team. They have a rising young team. They have guys like Jalen Johnson, Zachary Ricochet. But the Hawks want to see how this team looks. Both Trae Young and Kristaps Porzingis are extension eligible, but Trae Young, by all accounts, I'm told, is locked in. He's excited about this team. He really believes this team is as close to that team several years ago that made it to the conference finals in the East. He's excited, but I do know Trae Young a little bit, and I know once he gets into the season, he wants to focus on that season. So if there is no extension, we're into the regular season, I would not be surprised if he just waits until the 2026 summer before any decisions on his future.
Yeah, you and I have been talking about that focus, that renewed focus that Trae Young has, not going to the Jordan party with other Jordan athletes and instead being in Las Vegas, seeing his teammates working out, those sorts of little things. At times, Trae Young's leadership over the years has been questioned, and I really think this summer we've seen several instances of him really rising to the occasion. Shams, thank you so much for that insight and that reporting. I want to bring in Mr. Money Moves, Bobby Marks here, because whenever we're talking about contract negotiations, I need you to weigh in here, Bobby. How would you approach this with Trae Young?
I would approach it with an extension, but not at the 4 for $222 number here.
Okay.
I think we're in a day and age of roster building where you have to be extremely careful when you hand out max contracts where you're averaging out $55 million. And Trae Young is certainly an all-star level player. I'm not putting him up there in a top 15, maybe even top 20 in the NBA here. And I think I want to see how this roster develops. They certainly went out and got Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Luke Kennard, Kristaps Porzingis. They drafted Asen Newell. Dyson Daniels is also up for an extension here. I'm waiting out this season here. I'm offering him something, but it's not going to be at that 4 for $222 number.
Interesting. Do you think that that's the number that's a little too high for Trae? I don't like to count people's money.
Yeah, I don't either. But I think back on that quote that I was talking about when Kevin Durant said he thinks the 6-foot point guard might be coming to an end.
Oh, yeah, when he was on Mind the Game.
And this is what I think he was talking about, where you're saying, yes, Trae Young, statistically, what he brings to a game of basketball, I get it. At 6, what is he, 6'2"?
6'3".
6'2", 6'3". It's tough to say, can he switch on to a 5 at the end of the game? Can he guard a bigger guard? Can he, what are the other things that he can do besides score it? Can he make a 2-guard a scoring champion? Those are the things that we're thinking about and we're looking at when we're thinking of a smaller guard. You're thinking of a guy that can get guys going, that could pitch ahead, especially after seeing OKC and Indiana in the finals. You have to be thinking we have to change our game and change our style a little bit to make sure that we're pitching ahead, we're moving the baton, and we're making sure the other guys are getting off. If you don't have 3 or 4 guys that are weapons on your team, if there's only one head to cut off the snake, then it's going to be a tough day for him.
Basketball Reference is saying 6'1" here for Trae Young. Udonis, how are you looking at this?
I mean, I see Trae Young as a max talent. And when you look at guys like Jalen Brunson and those guys, I see Trae Young as a max talent. This is a guy who hasn't averaged less than 24 the last 3 years. And by the way, he's either led the league in total assists or assists per game. So you can see how much of their offense that they are accounted for. When you look at what they've done, when they put Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who's a great two-way player. You got Dyson Daniels, who was one of the top defensive players of the year last year, also most improved. You got Caleb Houston. We talked about what they do in Canada and those guys having something in Canada. This is a guy who shot over 50% last year, the second half of the season after All-Star break. You got Porzingis, who's a guy who can be a matchup problem offensively, shoot the 3, and also be a rim protector. So, yes, he's not going to be a guy that Trae is going to switch on, but you've put enough pieces and enough defense around him where you can protect Trae Young. The question with Trae Young is he going to show up an hour before practice? Is he going to stay 2 hours late after practice? Those guys in that locker room and in that organization have to believe that it is just as important to Trae Young as anybody else. If it's important to Trae Young, it will be important to everybody else in that locker room. That's where I think the separation is for Trae Young. How important is it, and can he lead this team to a championship and be that leader and that guy that's accountable? That's where he falls short. That's what he's working on. I love the fact that he didn't take the Jordan tour and he was there this year. That's the only thing I see him falling short of. But when you look at the numbers, you can put Trae Young numbers right up next to Jalen Brunson and all those guys, and his numbers will equal out.
Without a doubt. I second all the things that he said. I think that it's going to have to be a decision in Trae's mind of what does he want to be remembered for.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you have shown us all your gifts. You've shown us what you can do. And now to win and take the next step, that's where the breakdown of film has to be a little bit different. and we just want to see him take that next step. It's not that we don't care about the max, but it's like, if you got to take a couple million less, take a couple million less, make sure your team is good, and keep playing where you want to play.
I also think that he has a real opportunity to do that this year differently than we've seen since they were able to in 2021, right? Because I sat down with Tyrese Halliburton in the NBA Finals, and we're certainly hoping to see him back on the floor soon. He said something, he didn't mean it as a diss. He just meant it as a fact. He said that after we made it to as far as we did in the playoffs 2 seasons ago, people looked at us and said, are we the Atlanta Hawks from 2021, or are we going to prove that this was not a fluke and we're going to get back there? The Atlanta Hawks have an opportunity to prove that they're still a team that's formidable, especially in an Eastern Conference that really is as wide open as I have seen. So if Trae Young and this Atlanta Hawks team, they've done an excellent job this summer, is able to maybe throw a punch in that Eastern Conference conversation, then it's going to be something really interesting to talk about, especially because, as Shams just said, Trae. Hey, so let's have some fun. It's our hit game, Who Said That?, where I get to put on my game show voice, and we're going to take a look at some of the quotes that caught our attention and ask our esteemed contestants who said that. Sound good? All right, let's get it started. Shump, who said this? Quote, no BS. I don't back down from anybody or anything. Everybody to me is the same. Was it Draymond Green? Was it Dylan Brooks? Or was it Isaiah Stewart? Welcome to the game, my friend.
Wow. I'm going to go with Dylan Brooks.
Was it in his first guess ever in Who Said That? Dylan Brooks, ding, ding, ding.
Of course.
There you go.
Of course. But I just feel like they put cameras in his face a lot.
No bull. I would say, I don't back down from anybody or anything. Everybody's, to me the same.
1 for 1. You need to play a minimum of 3 times to be on our leaderboard, but that is a very, very good start there. And I like, Dylan letting the scout breathe a little bit here in the summertime. Mr. Marks, you are up next, sir. Who said, quote, I love him, of course, but that would be fire to get a poster on Jesus. That would be so cold. That's such a crazy flex. Was it Anthony Edwards? Was it Scotty Barnes? Or did Karl Anthony Towns say this? Wanted to put Jesus on a poster.
I want to say it's Anthony Edwards, but I'm going to pick Scotty Barnes.
Okay, we're going with a little bit of zigging when everyone else is zagging. Oh, it was Karl Anthony Towns.
Oh, it was neither.
Love him, of course, but that would be fire to get a poster on Jesus. That would be fire.
You're talking about Ray?
That would be so cold. That's such a crazy flex.
I thought he was talking about the Messiah.
Yeah. I don't want no poster on Jesus.
That's what I said, bro. What you doing?
Udonis, you are solidly in the upper middle of the pack on our leaderboard here. So our next one is for you. Who came back from vacation and said, quote, I thought Maximus was a real warrior. I'm going to go to the Coliseum screaming, Maximus! And my tour guide said he's not real. Was it Tyler Hero? Was it Buddy Hield? Or was it Scoot Henderson?
Got to be my Bahamian brother, Buddy. He had his conch salad. That's what it was. He had his conch salad over there. Ain't no conch salad over there.
Oh my gosh, that's too funny too. I can picture him saying it. Well done.
Maximus was a real warrior. So I'm going to the Coliseum screaming Maximus, and my tour guide said he's not real.
Good for you, buddy. I'm glad you had a good vacation. I'm glad you had fun. And there was a little educational moment, too. All right, last one's for everyone. Let's come to a consensus here. Who said this? Quote, I'm not a super anxious guy or anything like that. So on the plane, when I found out, I just kind of said, well, I'm traded. And I took a little nap. Was it Michael Porter Jr.? Was it Lonzo Ball? Or was it Colin Sexton? I would not have been able to take a nap.
Michael Porter Jr.
Michael Porter Jr. Bobby, you good with my MPJ?
I agree with you, D.
Oh, it is Michael Porter Jr. Well done.
I'm not like a super anxious guy or anything like that. So on the plane, when I found out, I kind of just well, I'm traded, and kind of just took a nap afterwards.
I can't pull off a bucket hat. I'd like to, but
when you get buckets like that, you gotta throw the bucket on. Throw the bucket on.
Bucket hat. Oh, that was fun. Thanks for playing, friends. Before we bounce, we do have to shout out the shot that everyone at ESPN is talking about this morning. This is back at our headquarters in Bristol. There was an employee game between the production assistants and content associates. These are the folks who make television go on our air every single day. And Zach Weiss hit the game-winning buzzer beater to give the CAs the win in this one. Shout out to our very own Chris Ortega for capturing this moment. I love it. You're going to get them next year, PAs. NBA All-Star Weekend, it has officially begun in Indianapolis. And this year, the game is going to look a little bit different as well. First of all, you see these 4 circles, not the logos, 1, 2, 3, 4. So those, if a player hits a 28-foot jumper from one of those spots, it's going to count for not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 points. So expect to see some players making it rain from beyond 6 feet past the 3-point line. But it's not just the 4-point shot. The game is going to be nonstop. What do we mean by that? The shot clock has been shortened from 24 to 20 seconds. There will be live play substitutions where the offensive team, they can have an all-star enter onto the court while their squad has the possession in the backcourt. And get this, there's no more free throws. So outside the final 2 minutes, in circumstances that would normally require a player to go to the free throw line and the game slows down, instead, automatically, they'll be credited with the maximum available points. But before the game tomorrow, All-Star Friday is just a couple of hours away. We get the skills challenge. Alicia Gray won the skills challenge, and she won the 3-point contest last season. And she's the plus 250 favorite to repeat in the skills competition. But Gray has the second shortest odds to win the 3-point contest behind the 2023 champ Sabrina Ionescu. I think I got stabbed too. We'll see. The Liberty Star is a plus 120 favorite to win the contest. But don't count out who's third at plus 400. As All-Star Weekend gets underway, we're joined by Sparks guard Kelsey Plum, a member of Team Fee this weekend. Kelsey, as always, I appreciate you making the time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So your teammate, Angel Reese, your teammate for the weekend on Team Collier, that is, said that you all are in Indy, but it feels like it's Miami. What's the vibe out there at All-Star Weekend?
Well, I don't know where she's staying, but I want more energy. I want more energy than that. No, but it's been great. I mean, Indiana's a great place for basketball, obviously. A ton of fans. Super excited. I mean, never have I ever experienced the orange carpet live with fans. So, I mean, there's definitely a lot of cool things that they're doing this weekend, and definitely a lot to be excited about.
I'm usually the person who has POMO. I'm proud of missing out, but I gotta say, this weekend, seeing the orange carpet, seeing the outfits on it, I'm having a little bit of FOMO here. And your outfit in particular had a lot of folks talking. I loved the red. What was the inspiration behind it?
Thank you. I was a little bit apprehensive, not gonna lie. It's not really in my wheelhouse, but I ended up just loving it. You know, we're in Indiana, so we gotta go red, a little bit of sparkle. I wanted to have like a sleek braid that just went all the way down. You know, Louis Vuitton shoes, sport mat dress. I could barely walk after the night, but it was worth it.
See, that's the sign of a good night. You know, when you're just like kind of hobbling home and your toes kind of look like this after being in heels all night, then that is the sign of a good night. But it all officially kicks off with the 3-point contest tonight. You're one of the league's most confident shooters. What's your mindset going in? Because you've been there before.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, before was a little bit different in terms of like the dynamic of the way it was run. So I'm excited. I mean, for me, I'm just gonna go out and have a ton of fun. I love the bright lights. I love that there's the starry ball this time. We didn't have that the last time I did it. So there's a lot of nuances, and you know, there's a lot of people that are probably expecting a lot of different people to win. So I mean, for me, honestly, I'm just like, I'm excited. I'm gonna go out there and hopefully make it rain.
Yes, see, but this is what you do. You make it rain whenever you're on the floor. And I know you're always kind of looking at the competition, making sure you're studying the film. Is there someone that you're looking at saying, all right, this may be who I have to take down here?
Yeah, I'm looking at that starry ball. I'm like, 4 points is a lot of points. You gotta knock those ones down, especially at the top. But no, I mean, it's a great group, super competitive. All the women in it shoot a really high level. And, you know, my mom was kind of busting my chops about, she's like, you know, Kelsey, you really kind of shoot off the dribble. Are you sure you want to do this? I was like, Mom, like, yes, have some faith.
Mom, don't blow up my spot like that. Like, calm down, Mom. We don't need to be putting my business out there like that. You mentioned the starry ball. We saw some video of you taking actually 4-point shots. Is that something that you're warming up, getting ready for the All-Star game? Are we going to see a couple of those?
Oh, for sure. I mean, you got to come in there, especially now. I think that they're making it like a hockey sub where you can kind of run in and get your momentum. I mean, the first shot in my mind is check into the game as soon as I get it, pulling up from the sorry ball. Why not? Like, start it off with a bang and go from there.
America, just so we're all aware, as soon as Kelsey checks in, she will be pulling up no matter where she is on the floor. And Kelsey, the officiating, right, it doesn't usually come into play in all-star games. However, in the regular season, it's been a point of discussion here. So I did want to ask you while we have you, what do you make of the way games have been called so far this year?
I mean, the officials are put in a really tough spot. You know, the league is faster and more dynamic than it's ever been. With that being said, I think that players and coaches are really just asking for a level of consistency from the first to the fourth, right? So if a foul is a foul in the first, it's got to be a foul in the fourth. And really just also, you know, physicality. If you're going to allow physicality, allow it. You know, don't measure it up with ticky-tack fouls or let certain things go. Everyone's just looking for consistency, but I don't envy their job. And, you know, I think our league is growing, and, you know, as we continue to grow, we want to be able to grow and support the officials and pay them what they need to be paid so they feel like their final destination is the WNBA.
That's a really great point, to make sure that there is sort of this holistic rise that's happening with the league that we're seeing right now, from the players to the coaches to the referees as well. Your rep and team fee this weekend, you played with stars in Vegas, and now you're the clear engine in Los Angeles. You lead the team in points and assists. What's been the biggest adjustment for you?
I think just having patience. I think, you know, being on a team, competing for a championship year in and year out, you don't realize the amount of competitiveness that's around you. And then, you know, coming to a new team, and we're young and we're super talented, but you have to learn how to win at this level. It's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. Yeah. Patience is not something that is so easily coming to me. So really just trying to grow in that. And, you know, I do have a lot of faith that we're going to continue to stack, and we'll be there when we need to be there.
Me too. Patience is not exactly my forte, but it's something that I am working on. So I feel you on that one. But I'm so lucky. I've gotten to see you play up close in Vegas. I've gotten to see you play up close in Los Angeles. And I think that there's a case to be made that this is your best individual season yet, and you're getting closer and closer to getting Cam Brink back on the court. What does a successful second half of the season look like for your Sparks team?
Yeah, I really appreciate you saying that. There's a lot of work that goes into it. And, you know, for me, I've tried to really work on the offseason, growing my game, different levels, defensively, passing, you know, and this year I've shot a lot off the dribble from three. That's not something that I totally would love to do all the time. I'd like to do more catch and shoot, but like you said, yeah, exactly. Like when we bring Cam back and we continue to get our pieces in flow, everyone's going to be in their correct roles, and we're going to be able to build that chemistry and those nuances that you need to win at this level. And so I'm really excited about Cam. She's a super high-level talent, and we miss her out there, especially defensively. So it's going to be great when we get her back.
Kelsey, it's always wonderful chatting with you. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your day. I know you got a busy schedule. And before you go, I just got to say, excellent hairstyle today. Really.
Let's go. I'm repping you tonight, okay? Let's get it.
We're matching, and I love it. Good luck. We'll be watching you. Thanks so much, Kelsey. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, Mom, we got to get you in a little top knot.
You know what I'm saying?
I think that'd be good.
It ain't long enough yet. I'm getting there, though.
The WNBA, though, has been wild this summer. We've got the receipts. We've got our top 3 plays of the season so far. Checking in at number 3, Chelsea Gray. This is on July 6th here. Threading the needle to Asia Wilson and making it look effortless. The point God. Passed her coach Becky Hammond on the all-time assist list. 7 assists that night, and she moved into 6th place in league history. At number 2, Alicia Gray, the Dream and the Mystics here. Gray had the ankle breaker on this one.
Love her game. I just was at her game not too long ago when they played Seattle, I believe. But watching her get to her shot, I thought she was a setup shooter, but watching her get to her shot, she was pretty good.
Surgical.
Oh, very.
And then at number 1, we have Caitlin Clark here, returning after missing 5 games with an injury, and it was like she never left.
That's Miss Come Here.
Scorched the Liberty.
Come here.
32 points after taking off 5 games, including 7 3-pointers. 7?